We are very, very excited to have each and every one of you here to talk about our Poverty Summit, where our key messages are to reduce poverty and maximize economic opportunities, with our ultimate hope is to defeat poverty here in Michigan. Today we're here to do two things. First and foremost, we want to talk about the Poverty Summit. We know that there's some interest in talking with the governor separately with regards to the automobile czar, and that will take place after the Poverty Summit press conference right here in this room. She will come to the podium and address that as soon as that is over. But if we can keep our questions focused on the Poverty Summit, we would really appreciate it. At this time, it's my distinct privilege and honor to introduce the people that are here. To my right, our Department of Human Services Director, Ismael Ahmed. He is the leader and the champion of the Poverty Summit for the state of Michigan. Our esteemed governor, the great Jennifer M. Granholm. We're happy to have her here as well. And of course, Martin Luther King III. We're happy to have him here, and his efforts are well known with regards to reducing poverty. Next to him is Jim Crisp. And next to Jim Crisp is Sonia Harb, who's the chairperson of the Commission on the Community Action and Economic Opportunity. This is something the governor initiated in 2003 to address reducing poverty. And then Ron Borngesser, who's the board president for the Michigan Community Action Agency Association. At this time, they're going to give you some brief remarks with regards to what they plan to present at the Poverty Summit, which will take place in about a half an hour, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. And we'll start with Ismael Ahmed.
Good morning. I've been told to be brief, and so I will be. This Poverty Summit was organized as part of a larger initiative on poverty aimed at doing very real and very specific things to change poverty in Michigan, to reduce it, and to provide greater economic opportunity for the citizens of Michigan. There are 2 million people in or near poverty, and 500,000 of them are children. We believe it takes a coordinated effort of both at the federal level. We are happy that the president has embraced a program of half by 10, which means reducing poverty in half over the next 10 years, and all the specifics that it takes to make that happen. At the state level, we've got many programs that the governor has introduced that will move us in that direction. To name a few, those include No Worker Left Behind, the work that we're doing to universalize health care, and many others that I don't have time to list. But in the end, the aim of this summit is to bring together the 5,000 people who are here to organize themselves to take on poverty in their own community in a coordinated effort, prioritizing poverty, which will take place today, in their own communities, and then launching those regional work groups, which we will then support to make progress on. Thank you.
Governor Granholm.
Thanks very much. The summit, you'll see the word action in the summit documents all through it. You notice we've got the community action agencies who are the sponsors here, the voices for action. Action is what this is all about. This is not just about talk. This is about getting to the goal of reducing poverty. And what are the specific steps that individuals, organizations, the faith community, and government can take to ensure that people are able to climb out of poverty? And that's what this is. Government has a role. And that's why I'm so pleased that the Department of Human Services has organized this summit. Ismael Ahmed has been a tremendous leader, a tremendous champion for all people. And we want to make sure that everyone has access to economic opportunity. That means creating jobs. That means jobs for all kinds of people, all kinds of jobs for all levels of skill. That means increasing people's skills, giving them access to training, removing the barriers that currently exist for people to be able to get into training, whether it's cost or whether it's time. We want to make sure that people have access, children especially, to college, tearing down those barriers, making sure that that college and a college curriculum is something that all kids have access to in Michigan, and not just a select few in the more wealthy communities. We in the state have programs at every level, in every community, but particularly in communities that have high levels of poverty. We also have increased our in fact, we've adopted a state earned income tax credit to provide access to the to tax credits for those who work, which is, of course, rewarding work. We've also raised the minimum wage in Michigan as a statement of the importance of putting money into the hands of those who are most likely to spend it, and which also has the effect of stimulating the economy, but lifts people out of poverty. So you name it, at every level, we are working to make sure we reduce poverty. It is such a pleasure that somebody who's been a national champion on this subject has joined us for this summit. It highlights the importance of the issue for us in the state, and your presence is really a great honor for us as a state. And as governor, I want to welcome you here and thank you so much for bringing your expertise to the subject of action.
Thank you, Governor. Mr. King.
Thank you so much, Governor, and to your distinguished team. I applaud this major effort for your state, and also think that it is something that is proactive in a real sense. Although the need to address poverty in communities across our nation has been with us for a long time. In fact, I would go as far back to say that 40 years ago, my father began a campaign that was entitled the Poor People's Campaign. Back in around 1967 he began, but 68 it was to come to fruition. Of course, he did not live to realize that dream. But his goal was to bring together poor blacks, poor whites, poor Native Americans, poor Latino, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, Americans from all walks of life, to say to the nation's policymakers that we demand the right to decent jobs with decent pay. What he was talking about was what we call today a living wage, not a minimum wage. We're still addressing the issue of minimum wage, and the minimum wage is not at a responsible level. So we've got a lot of work to do. But I am honored to be here today, Governor, particularly because I've had the distinction for the last couple of years of traveling around the nation, including here to Michigan and Benton Harbor, here in Detroit, a couple of other cities in Michigan, as well as around the nation, looking at impoverished conditions, bringing together people from the religious community, the business community, elected officials, and community leaders, because I believe those are those at least four components in our communities that can address the issue of poverty. And our goal is to get what you're talking about doing today happening. And so I'm just so excited about having the opportunity to be here to share today some of the things that we've seen, but also some of the things that we can expect to happen. We know that this is one of the most difficult times in our nation's history, but we also know that we have the ability to do most anything. We just have not identified the will. But when ability and will come together, results occur. And so that is what I'm excited about, and I certainly hope to come back to Michigan again and again. But thank you so very much.
Thank you, Mr. King. Mr. Chris.
Yes, thank you. You've heard the saying, be careful what you ask for. Well, for 40 years, Community Action has been asking for poverty to be brought to the front burner again, and here it is. And we're not afraid of it. We have 30 community action agencies in the state of Michigan that have been doing the yeoman's task of keeping people living in low-income situations going, and we assist them in lifting out of poverty. We are looking forward to the challenges that are being brought forth here in Michigan, and we have agencies such as Ron will address here in a minute that stand ready to step up and take on that challenge. So again, we welcome the opportunity to be part of this, and it's been a great honor to work with the Commission and with DHS, and we look forward to that continued relationship.